Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry Reviews Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which is titled Astrogation something. We sat here for like 10 minutes actually discussing what it's called because it's apparently wrong on Disney Plus, which is hilarious.
It seems like it is because it says episode 3 is very interesting as an astrogration problem, but I believe they mean astrogation.
Yeah, apparently astrogration's not a word. I just haven't been listening. They've been like divulging a huge investigation. I've been sitting here just staring blankly at a wall, not even realizing that I needed to know what the fuck the episode was called before I was already way deep into it. But what's going on, guys? I'm JB here with Slykiko and KryptonicKen, and yeah, we are back with another episode. Whether this review, we have 5 more episodes left, which is super depressing. And we get a huge kind of unraveling of Jude Law's character. Find out a couple different profiles that he goes under. Really interesting.
Yeah.
The jury's still out for whether he's a Jedi or not, which is a fun bit, I think.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
I like that he's walking the line kind of between the two, where like at the beginning he seemed like a little more wise and like he could be a Jedi, and then later he's like definitely not, and he's just like kind of a pirate.
He's beating the shit out of an owl.
Yeah, and he's like easily, I don't want to say manipulated, but like goaded into something, I guess, let's say, because like the kids are like, you're a Jedi, you can do anything, right? Because they're like, we left SM-33 back there, are you gonna get him? And he's like, I'll go get him, because they're like, you're a Jedi. So he's like, he's got to try to keep up the ruse that he is a Jedi, but he's like not actually, you know?
Yeah. I find it insanely kind of dumb that they left that station as easy as they did.
Yeah.
But
security's pretty garbage over at that little pirate hovel, clearly.
I guess so. It's like everyone, they just stirred up a huge thing of shit. Like the big bad crew just like was fucking, just kind of got the shit beat out of them by the robot and a bunch of kids and children, and they probably like thinking about like all those credits that they saw as well, so they had to be very curious like where that wealth was coming from. So I figured they'd be the talk of the town, but like immediately they cut to it and it's just like business as usual kind of a market, and like, okay, that seemed like stuff calmed down pretty fast. I'm really happy the rat is going to be a reoccurring theme for the series as well.
The one inside SM-33?
Yeah. What food do you think they were snacking on out of that big old pot? The green gelatin.
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know if I've seen.
That's what the people
like
want to know. That's where the discussion happens, you know.
It's
you
the
talk
new
about
blue milk, bro.
It's
going to be in everything now.
They had the fucking Finn. He had blue milk or some colored milk at the very beginning. He was eating like cereal and stuff.
Something.
That was like Star Wars Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and he had some like blue milk.
Yeah,
Whoops.
he definitely did.
Yeah, it was weird. I drink blue milk at a store here. It's cotton candy flavored. I had you try the same brand of milk, Sly, when you showed up here 2 months ago.
Oh, that. Oh, shoot, that was some damn good milk. Not gonna lie.
Like you weren't invited. You showed up here at my doorstep.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
Cotton candy or no? It's delicious. They like do like special flavors. They actually had they did the red velvet flavor for like when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and we did that like Bloodborne special. We were drinking blood. Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, that's cool, but it just sounds like, I don't know, a lot for milk.
Yeah, it's quite sugary. I really drink a wee bit, you know.
Yeah.
I think
I guess you get all the milk cereal flavor without having all the cereal.
Yeah. Oh, it's like to drink. It's called Chateau, but I don't think it's like specifically meant for like cereal. I should have prefaced that.
Yeah, that stuff is so concentrated. I would never. Oh God.
Yeah, that'd be like just combining way too much.
Yeah. It's pretty good though. It comes in like a big old glass bottle, and you actually pay for like deposit for the glass bottle, but you can actually get the money back after you drink it. You can return the glass bottle and you get the deposit back. I guess in terms of them wanting to recycle.
Well, that's good at least.
I think. I don't know. Unless, what are they doing with all that glass? Who knows? That's a bigger conspiracy than the conspiracy of Crimson Jack.
Yeah, and his flip-floppy character of we don't know where he is yet, or what he is, what he wants. I mean, he kind of seems like he just wants treasure, but I feel like he's got other motivations. I'm still not sure.
I feel like he
because
really wants to help these kids out.
Obviously.
I don't know about that entirely. He's
100%.
He's also not a terrible person though, because
I agree.
he could have just totally scammed them, stole their ship, and left.
I honestly, if
But
I was a
he did.
pirate, that's why he's a ship pirate, because he's like not good but not bad. So it's like fucking, you can't be a good bad guy. You can't even be a good bad guy. Like, if you were a true pirate, you'd fucking throw those kids to the fucking wolves and steal their ship and go on about your business, you know, and
Right.
look for the next
So-
score. That's what like
Yeah.
a pirate would do. Anyone else like on the station would be like, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, just tell me where your ship is. I'll help you, and then go get on the ship and just blast off. But he didn't. And he saved their robot. So I'm like, I'm not sure. Not sure where he stands yet. Because he's also kind of manipulative himself. So it's a bit of a strange back and forth he's
Yeah,
got
you
going on.
can tell he's definitely after, like glory and treasure, but we don't know his individual motivations as to why. Like, what is motivating this guy to want that money? What do you want to do with it,
True. But so far, I like him. He's interesting. He's
Yeah.
At least not just a one-sided character. Like he's got some stuff going on.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
very
find
yeah.
that
When you say he's flip-floppy, it depends who he's interacting with, which I kind of like, you know.
yes, like he's.
I think he's
doing that
tailoring
on
his approach with each of the kids in like separately.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Which I like how, like, on screen, he's manipulating each and every one of them a different way, and they're so young, and some of them don't have the benefit of the doubt, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, you know the meaning of stabbing in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of wish it wasn't so centered on him. I really enjoyed the kids the first 2 episodes. I feel like they kind of got like didn't get a whole heck of a lot of screen time. We did see more KB today, which I'm glad. Not that I was like, oh man, I want to see more KB, but I'm glad that they're kind of equally kind of sharing a little bit in that way. We can care about each of the characters and learn more about them and kind of judge their personalities on who's more cautious and who's extremely naive and adventurous and who's extremely brave and cowardice, you know, just using some of those to describe some of the characters. We get to know a little bit more about them. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more of them. They definitely were heavy on revealing stuff about him because I guess they needed that cool factor to keep a lot more people interested in the show. I do like the kids though. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a kids show. I'm like, maybe, but like, it's keeping me plenty interested, and I feel like I don't have to be like, it's a fucking kids show, you know? I don't have to be like
kids like dumb. Like it's centered around kids, but there's still like things that anyone can relate to.
Yeah, just because there's a child in a TV or a movie does not automatically make it for children type of thing like that. Which,
Yes.
I mean, Star Wars for a fat minute has been geared towards a younger audience, you know, because selling toys and video games like that
I mean,
has
it
always
always
been a
has
big
been,
priority.
so-
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
But yeah, so far so good. I'm liking where they're going. They got some good interactions. There's a bit of hiding stuff on both sides. Like Jack is still hiding his true motivations. The kids are also hiding some of the stuff they know. Like he doesn't know they have all that money and stuff because they had that on the table at one point while
Yes.
they were eating. And then he starts to come in and he's like, oh, better hide it because they're not stupid. They know that they shouldn't reveal all of what they have as well. So there's a bit of a untrust.
they'll show their
obviously.
hand type of thing.
Yeah. And so I think there's an interesting dynamic there. So I think they're doing a pretty good job with that.
Yeah. I'm liking how cautious they are, and like Wim and Neil, like, yeah, we can trust them. Like, obviously we can't. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Duh, we can't trust them. Like, they have to get reminded that they might get fucked over. And yeah, we were actually looking into Crimson Jack a little bit, and Sly, you kind of figured something out about him.
Yeah, it looks like he is technically in Legends. And he is a pirate once again, and he has a lot of interactions with like Princess Leia and Han Solo, so that time period, which I guess tracks with the time period we've got going on here.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that's like, are we gonna see that cross up? I don't think so, and I kind of hope not. I do want the stories to kind of just stay separate, because I feel like the more you try to incorporate too many things that we've seen, you end up with acolyte situations where you're retconning things that nobody wants to see retcon.
Agreed. Agreed. They can just keep this its own thing.
Yeah.
Maybe have some loose connections, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's still got to feel like part of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
still have it be its own little thing. Which
Standalone stories, I mean, there's no shame in them. At one
No.
point, the original Star Wars was a standalone story.
Yeah. I mean, like, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to
exactly.
be like huge links, and it doesn't have to like ruffle so many feathers and rustle so many jimmies and like shatter some ceilings and change up the lore entirely, or even like build new lore on top of it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's just interesting stories and interesting characters that you can have, but for some reason Star Wars has such a fucking issue with putting pride or effort or energy into any of those ideas, which is baffling. It feels a little bit new, but at the end of the day, hopefully we don't have like there's a Jedi that shows up and there's some holocron shit and it's just like, oh god, like,
yeah,
you know,
please no.
and we don't need to hear a discussion about like, oh, but the crystal, how'd they break the crystal though? Because and it's just like, I don't need some shit like that. And like, how did they create someone just like Palpatine when he created someone? It's like, if you're gonna do that, have actually something decent come out of it besides like just drama, because that it even got shit canned for season 2 already, didn't it, Acolyte?
Oh yeah, no, it got canceled immediately.
Yeah, good.
Pretty sure,
Fuck
yeah.
They were
that show.
talking about potentially removing it from Disney Plus forever. They were talking about all the merchandise removed literally within a week.
Gosh.
Everything was gone.
See, Disney? That's why you shouldn't be woke. No, I'm joking. But no, it's fucking... That's really funny to me. Is Ahsoka regarded as bad as Acolyte is?
God
No.
No?
No. Even as much as we were like ripping and criticizing Ahsoka, we looked at highlights of it like Balin Skull, Shin Hati.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know, there was some banging bits in it. Sure, there was occasional garbage writing here and there, but what Star Wars movie, show have we not watched that we'd be like, yeah, there's a little bit of bullshit here. But that story,
Very true.
I mean, we were in the trenches looking for good things to find about it. We were trying hard to find silver linings.
Yeah.
And every time we were like, oh, this is going great, the next episode would just dash those hopes and character growth and progression. I mean, think about it. In that show, you got attached to one character, and they destroyed his character by the very end of the show. Think about it. Absolute waste.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen with this one, because I'm
Exactly.
liking the character so far.
Yeah, all of them I'm,
So-
I'm pretty fond of. The bird lady was very out there and very loud and whatnot. I was like,
Very
I was
alright,
not
cool.
prepared.
Not
I was
very-
not prepared for seeing her.
Not very
Yeah.
subtle, you know. But
Yeah,
She
classic
was-
knowledgeable owl character. Like,
yeah,
I
I mean,
know.
it's
seen that trope.
Last Airbender called. They want their owl back.
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, who's got the wisdom? Oh, the owl. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this hasn't been. I don't know. It seemed like, oh, there's your exposition. Like,
Yeah.
very like plainly.
You gotta
Here's
find a world.
yeah, here's
I
a
can
third
help you.
party to tell you what everything is going on that you may know, and the characters definitely know now. I don't know. It feels like it could have had space for it, and I feel like they kind of like overfilled it. You know, they like, oh, we kind of poured a little bit too much in there, and it kind of went over the top. But it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I think the more interesting thing about this episode was that, I don't know, there's yet another lost world in Star Wars. We briefly talked about this, like, a little while ago, that this is like, I don't know, what was it, What do we say? Like fourth one, potentially?
3 or 4. Yeah, we could safely say this is like the 4th time in the last few years that Star Wars has been like, you know what? Let's make a hidden world that no one's ever heard of, and it's tucked away. Oh, how's it hidden? Oh, you know what? Probably clouds. Yeah. Weird,
Yeah,
like
some hard navigation or something.
hard navigation. You can't go around the stars or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Jedi Survivor, Ahsoka. Sure, it was a different galaxy, but it's the same premise. You pointed out Rise of Skywalker, which I forgot. Thank God. I
Yeah.
mean, and then now this one. It's like, dude, like they're reducing and they're recycling the same, pattern here. And it's like, man, what happened to just saying like, here's a planet that's like on the outer rim. Nobody messes with it. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You can just say that.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it's just dangerous. No one wants to
Yeah.
go there. It's like,
It's like, yeah, it's, like this planet, like it got nuked to shit. Nobody wants to visit. Okay, good enough for me. Like, You don't need to have some like crazy drawn out. No one's ever heard of it. It's been gone for thousands of years.
Why won't they just have some kind of explanation? Just be like, oh yeah, this barrier will not let any ship land or contact or anything of the sort, type of thing like that.
Leave it at that. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get more logical explanation. I don't know, but it just seems hard to believe with all their advanced technology that they can't find this place. Like, how is it wiped from everything? I mean, I guess Camino is the same kind of idea. How did it get wiped from all the computers, blah, blah, blah. Somebody must have still known about it.
But that highlights the ignorance of the Jedi in that case, because it was like, obviously people knew about it, but everyone was too stupid and self-obsessed to be like, well, if it's not in the books, it's not in the books. It's like, dude, like, they threw the books out. You got sabotaged.
Yeah.
This is just
that was like entirely it was them showing how corrupt the system, how corruptible it was, you know, type of thing like that.
Their arrogance was their downfall. Yeah.
Very good point.
I think it's really funny how at the very beginning do we get a little snapshot of all the parents and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, where are our kids? They're like, they're out of the barrier. That's illegal. Just wanna let you know. I'm like, cool. Like, hopefully they arrest the parents. You know, like that would be hilarious. Like how they're just dealing with the robots and shit like that. I'm like, what kind of weird town is this? Like, not that I need a person in charge, you know. Like I'm not robophobic or anything like that. I just want to preface that, but like it's very weird and feels like not like no one is in control because of how like bureaucratic that scene felt. And they're just like, I will contact and I will set up a meeting with the supervisor, you know, like, oh shit, what a threat, you know, like you're gonna threaten a meeting with the supervisor to do something to me, like, fuck, I'm shaking.
Oh damn.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. And they're just like, yeah, no one's allowed to go in the barrier, so I'm like, cool, they're just fucked then. Like that's what's happening over there. I'm glad we got a tiny little scene to see them freaking the fuck out and how hopeless they were, you know. That way we weren't just questioning like, what are they gonna do about those kids? But nothing. They're not going to do jack shit about those kids.
Yeah, their hands are tied. There's nothing they can do.
I was really worried that Wim was going to just blast the part of the ship with those cannons when he was on them.
When he was spinning around like that.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going to stop him from just lighting up, like, Captain, you know?
Yeah. Just accidentally shoot one of the parts of the ship and just absolutely
because it like switched to the scene where outside of the ship where the cannon's facing. And I thought the cannon was facing the other pod that she was in. I'm like, oh no. I'm just like thinking like, oh god, please just don't light her up. Please just don't light her up. And he just starts spinning. Like, that's a neat trick. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Mr. like, oh, I like the Jedi. They're such a cool thing. And then he's just like, yeah, like let's shoot some fucking ships, death and destruction. I'm like, all right, yeah, peace and protection of the world, as he just starts blasting randomly. But then again,
these X-wings, which are historically, you know, for the good guy.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know that.
To another thing, when they talk about the planets they learn about, he's like, oh yeah, we learned about, you know, Coruscant, Alderaan, and they just look at him like, Alderaan? This nerd hasn't read his, you know, history, because at this point, Alderaan doesn't exist anymore.
And that's why they mention they're like. They don't know about the war. Yeah.
Exactly. So this planet, you know, it is essentially like a reclusive system, and it's essentially like an what's the word for it? You know, like when you find like a tribe that hasn't been contacted yet.
Isolated.
Essentially.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah. I mean,
there's an exact word for it, but they've got their own little paradise, and they don't want to venture beyond it. So nothing exists outside of that barrier.
Yeah. They don't even get to see stars outside of it, right?
Yeah, because the barrier's like thick or something.
Correct. Yeah, you see it more at night, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really interesting. That because it does just look like normal daytime, like kind of thing like that. I remember the scene at the very beginning. They're just like the neighborhood. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just fucking bright as day outside. Reminds me a lot of Dr. Seuss.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool of them laying everything out and showing how ignorant like they are and how isolated they are from the rest of the galaxy. Not that like there's a norm, but like you said, like the same thing could be happening with like outer rim worlds and stuff like that too, where they just don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Type of thing like that.
Yeah. Very interesting.
The show was pretty good. Or this episode, I feel like it did not have the same magic and excitement as the first 2 episodes, but it's fine. I don't have any huge complaints besides the owl stuff felt like really rushed and whatnot. Her CG was pretty dang good.
Yeah,
on her face.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was
And
pretty happy
her
with it.
eyes was I was very focused on the eyeballs. Her eyes looked very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you that probably my biggest complaint is how easily they got out of the whole jail thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, obviously they struggled a little bit with the fuel line being connected, which I thought that was kind of like a stupid thing. Like, they
Yeah,
had no problem with everything else, but
forgot.
that's the thing that like is an issue. And then he ends up like causing it to blast and destroy everything else because he goes into hyperspace while it's still attached or something.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I guess, sure. But yeah, it was kind of dumb that they escaped so easily, quote unquote. So
Yeah, it was very, very quick. Do you guys think we're gonna see like a lot more of the pirates and like in pursuit?
oh, definitely.
100%.
I feel like we
I'm
have
excited
to.
for that. I want to see Shmi beat ass again.
Yeah, me too. I want to see him beat the fuck. He is an intimidating ass motherfucker, and I cannot wait to see him and like just put Jude Law in his fucking place. You know?
Yeah, I want to see more interactions between them. We got a little bit more of that. Like, while I think Jude Law's character was wandering around the ship, but I want to see a bit more of that, clashing of their thoughts.
Yeah, because he doesn't trust him. He's like, "Don't fuck my captain," you know?
Yeah.
Things like that, which I'm very excited for.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I will give it a 7, I guess.
Agreed. I will give it a 7 as well.
Gotta play it neutral here. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it didn't upset me and it didn't break anything. So yeah, it's a 7. It was a good episode, and I'm happy it extended from what we saw in the last 2.
Cool.
Yeah, and we did get some good shots actually of them on that planet with
That's
the like
true.
giant like I think they were on a moon and
They
there
were
was
on
a
a
giant
moon.
planet behind them. Like they had some good like cool shots. So there was some good stuff going on still in this episode.
Awesome. Good work, boys. So there you guys go. We're gonna give it an official good old Foundry 7. That's our official score. You know, if you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to drop some support for the boys down below. And we'll see you guys later on episode 4 with some more Skeleton Crew. But until then, bye, slugs.
Peace.
Bye.